What's going on, guys? So today we're going to be doing the boost vacuum line for the Fiat 500 Abarth. I got this vacuum tube off of Euro Compulsion. They'll say it's the boost leak fix tube. I bought this car used, so usually these vacuum lines are corroded, cracked, and you're going to leak boost. So if your foot's in it and you see your boost gauge go like this, and then as the boost is supposed to be holding, it's falling, or you're losing boost pressure, it's probably your vacuum line. If it's not your vacuum line, you'll want to check the fittings here around your cold air intake. That could be a leak point. Your blow-off valve, it could also be loose, which sits right here next to the cold air intake. But most of the time, I'd say on these used Fiat 500 Abarths, it's the vacuum tube. So the first thing you're going to want to do, I believe this is a 11mm crescent wrench, and you're going to want to take off these screws right here, loosen these like that, and you're gonna unplug your battery. So let me get this battery out, and I will see you guys in the next one. So once you have the connectors off the battery here, you'll need a 13mm to take out the battery clamp here. So you'll loosen that. Move your wrench out of the way here, then your battery will come out just like that. Next, you're gonna have to take out the battery tray. So you're gonna keep your same 13mm. Take out this one. Get that clamp out because that also doubles as holding in the tray. Take this guy out. Turn it up. That guy out as well. There's 3 screws and a screw in the bottom there. Rusty boys, because water sits down in there. Alright, so once you have your 3 outer 13 mils and your 13mm in the well, you're gonna have to come to these big boys right here, and the way you get these off is you're gonna pull these tabs out. Well, you gotta pull these out first. Pop these yellow tabs out, and you're gonna pull up on these like that. Once you pull them up, they'll slide right off. That. And once you have those popped off, your battery tray will come out. Just like that. Now you have a ground wire here, so I mean, I'm not going to take the time to do that, so just set that off to the side. The line we're looking for is this guy right here. So the next thing you're going to get off, can you see that on video? Mm-hmm. Next thing you're gonna get off here is this tab. So this rubber line that runs all the way up here, and where it ends is right here in the center. So eventually we're gonna be taking off this center piece and unhooking that. So the way you undo these clamps is you can literally just squeeze this tab. There's 2 tabs here. There's an outer tab, a left and a right tab, basically. So you're gonna take the left and the right with gloves on, and you should be able to pinch it and kind of wiggle it out. You wanna be careful to not break the plastic that goes in to the tube here. And these old tubes, my car has 130,000 on it, so these old tubes might be difficult to get off. So with these older tubes, like I said, my car has 130K on it. You're not gonna be able to, even once you get the clamp off, see I slid the clamp all the way to the neck down here. Even if you get the clamp off, you're not gonna be able to pull the tube off. It's just not gonna happen. That's how these old tubes are. So I would usually use a razor, but I don't have a razor, so I'm just using a sharp steak knife. Just cut the tube down the center, just like that, as you can see. And once you cut the tube down the center, it'll just pop right off. And then next, we're gonna be removing all of this just terrible hard lining here. So when you take off this line, you make sure you keep the rubber or the metal clamp that's on this line. Keep that. And your kit should come with a plug, or if you don't have a plug, go get one, just a rubber end piece. You're gonna put that over this inlet here and use your old metal clamp to put over that. So once you get your end cap on your valve here, and you clamp it, you're gonna wanna follow your line back, and you'll see that it's got these plastic fasteners into these brackets. So there's one right here. There is another one in this side of this metal right here. Then there's another one right here. You can just stick a flathead in like that and just twist and they'll pop right out. You want to unplug the valve that's in the center here. It'll be plugged in just like that. All you do is you press the green button on the side or on either side and pull this out. Save this valve right here. What you want to do is you're going to have to get this valve out of the rubber piping. So as you can see, you want to unplug the vacuum tube from your cold air intake. It's going to run along here into this bracket. It's around here. You just push in the little tab on the back, you'll see it, and then it pops straight up. Once it pops straight up, you're going to want to lift it out like that. Remember, you're going to want to save this valve because we're going to have to cut off, you're going to have to cut off this tubing, take the tubing off and save this valve because that valve needs to go in there. Remember, we popped out all the brackets, so you're going to completely take out your old vacuum tube. So once you have this out, what you're going to do next, you're going to cut off the old tubing so you have the valve. Excuse me. You're going to take off this valve. Once you have this valve, you're going to take it and put it back in this hole, right? So all you're left with, right, at this point, all you're left with is the plugged valve on this side, which is the red thing down there. Your valve here, and your valve stem that's going to be coming out of here. So let me get this tubing off and I'll be back with you guys in a minute. So luckily the old tubing fit around this valve just fine, as you can see there. I put the new tubing around the old valve that came out of here. What that's going to do is that's going to go directly in here, just like that. It's going to pop in. Once that's in, this tubing is going to go directly onto your cold air intake, right? But this is cut to fit, so you kind of want to run it. You know, some people don't mind it going like this, but no thanks. So once you have your line plugged in here, you're going to want to run it however you want it. Lots of people I've seen run it like this, but I don't know, I think it's a little sloppy, so I'm going to run it like this and kind of just make it do a slight bend. You want it cut at the base of your valve here. So I'm going to just get some sharp scissors, cut it a little bit longer than that. Just cut it right there. Toss your excess tube and your scissors there. Eventually, I mean, you'll want to get clamps, just little clamps for here, but I think it'll be fine, personally. Just for good measure, I'll do it. But for video's sake, I don't have any clamps, I know. Push it all the way up as far as it'll go. Just like that. There you go. That's your vacuum line. So like I said, you can throw out the old vacuum tube. This one's pretty useless at this point. You're not going to be using that. Just to recap, you're going to be putting that in there. Save your old fitting, plug that in, pop all the little fasteners out. Make sure you cut your tube right here to get it off. Cut your tube, save the old clamp, put the clamp, use the old clamp to put on your plug, and then go ahead and plug that, rip the whole thing out. Go ahead and cut your new tube to fit. And then obviously to put the battery tray in, I'm gonna put it in. Just kind of finesse it on in there. once you have this in, and I think there it is. So there's a little spindle down there for your nut, and all you got to do is get the battery tray to get that spindle to go through it, and then you'll be aligned. So once you're aligned, make sure you plug in these bad boys, because these are your ECU plugs. So without these, your car's pretty much useless. So put those down, make sure they snap into place, and then you can go ahead and put your, what was these, 13 millimeter, your three, you can put these three 13 millimeters back in, and your 13 millimeter nut in the bottom, and then you're good to go. So that is the vacuum line install, guys. I recommend you do this buying any used Fiat, just because most of the time the lines are cracked because they use hard plastic. So leave a like, comment if you have any other questions, and I'll see you guys in the next one.